Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got my good friend on, Tony Powers, one of my favorite people, certainly one of my favorite people to talk to about politics in particular. Love what you bring, and always glad to see you. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Kevin. How are you today?
Awesome. Do you want to mention italkus.com? That's your radio platform, plus your station you work with there in South Carolina and Georgia. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, just go to italkus.com. We're streaming live there all day long, and, of course, I hope you'll listen in during my program 3 to 6, Monday through Friday.
I do. I got to tell you, I do a lot of interviews all over the country, but I love being on your program. And it's one of the places where, there's a certain, almost a conventional wisdom even within the conservative realm that, you kind of feel like I need to abide by that when I'm on a Fox News or whatever. I don't want to go too nuts. But the reality is that I want to be totally forthright of what's happening out there on the political front. And let's face it, it's kind of crazy. My show, I want people to feel as comfortable as possible to talk about it. I feel that way every time I'm on your program.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on. What are you guys talking about today?
Well, I think, the big topic, wow, there's just so many. I'm not even sure where to begin. On your program this week, we talked about Obamacare and clearly the big lie that is. You know what we could talk about? I haven't talked about it at all on the show. Is the elections in Scotland. It's kind of an interesting aside. Let's talk a little bit about that. Did you have a stake in that game?
Well, actually, not much. I actually never thought it was going to. I thought no was going to win from the get-go, but and then they proved me right. 55-45, I believe, was the final vote.
Wasn't even really that close.
It really wasn't that close. I mean, that is kind of close, but not really close when you look at elections. But it's a good thing that didn't happen, obviously, because Great Britain, one of our best, probably our best ally in Europe, and so that would have been a very bad thing, and so I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that, it's interesting when you look at things in the context. The whole UK has about 55 million people. Scotland alone only has a population about 1 million less than the greater Houston area. It's got 5 million people. Houston has well over 6 million, and we're only the fourth largest city in the United States. Kind of puts some perspective in things, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. But Great Britain, that's where they had their nuclear weapons, and that would have been pretty disabling for the European Union and our alliance. Now, the good thing that could have come out of it is you'd have had a more conservative government in Great Britain. But do you really want to go there just to make sure you win conservative elections every year?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. I said the exact same thing. I did with the very little I did say. I did mention that 15 of the entire delegation from Scotland, only 15 of them are center right. Of the entire delegation in Parliament, and I guess there's well over 100. So it would have certainly made a more conservative Parliament, that's for sure. Yeah. So that was interesting. You know what I liked about it is that the people of in London acquiesced to let the people of Scotland do that type of thing. Wouldn't it be refreshing if our governments did that here, if our government allowed that here? Because you and I both know, you and I would be either parts of two different nations, or we would be, part maybe of the South having a confederation again. Because I think a confederation would be sexier now than any time, even in 1860.
Yeah. Actually, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Kevin. I'm in my car, and I apologize. I missed that last part.
I said a confederation would be more popular now than even in 1860. So you and I, if we had that kind of referendum here in Texas, I'm pretty sure Texas would leave.
Oh yeah, it certainly would. A lot of the states would probably opt out of being part of the United States at this point. States' rights are, they have just basically just thrown those away. I mean, it's like there is no more 10th Amendment.
Yeah, no question about it. So, what about your audience? What is your audience talking about?
Well, a lot of people are talking about, of course, ISIS and what we're going to do there, and kind of the half-cocked way we're going into this. And of course, a lot of people are concerned that we're not going. If you're going to do something, do it right. And obviously, we're going to go in there and be kind of aggravate ISIS more than destroy and actually do away with them. And I think that's a big mistake, and a lot of people are concerned about that. And of course, if we are going to go in there, we really do need to go in with full force and just go ahead and get it over with and get out of there.
Yeah, apparently this administration can't do anything like that, regardless of how much sense it makes. And they kind of restrain, and you would think, he's been real resistant to get a vote from Congress. I actually think the resistance towards getting an authorization vote is that he's afraid they're going to go farther than he wants to go. It isn't because they're going to slow him down. They're going to want to go farther.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the problem with the president's plan is, and he keeps talking about no boots on the ground, but come on, we know we have boots on the ground. We have several thousand over there now, and if they're attacked, they're going to fight back. So to act like they're not going to have any kind of a combat mission in Iraq, and especially once we get into Syria, is just ridiculous.
Yep, no question about it. So what do you see happening? Obama actually thinks that this war can be done within 3 years, based on what he's proposing. What's your thoughts? 3 decades?
He wants it to be 3 years. That way he's out of office for a year before it's resolved. I think what we're going to see is what we're seeing right now. Again, us being more of an aggravation than an actual and an irritant to ISIS, more than actually trying to wipe them out or actually do anything to get rid of them. I think what we're going to see is Obama just try to spread this thing out until he's out of office and then leave it to the next president to deal with.
Yeah, you know what? You and I both talked about him being potentially conspiratorial and not wanting to leave anytime soon, but I think he might be ready to go.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody is more unhappy with the job that he's doing than he is, and he would rather not be doing it, obviously. And
yeah.
and of course, he doesn't want to put Democrats in any kind of danger in November, but they're already in danger in November. But he doesn't want to go in with full force because that would mean another war in Iraq. And of course, he ran on the idea that he was going to end wars, not start them. And so he's fulfilling his promise. But what he's doing is, I think, going to eventually cost more American lives and probably put us in danger here at the homeland.
Yep. Thank you so much for your time. I know we ran out fast. We always do. My time with you is among my fastest and my most enjoyable. Tony Powers, italkus.com. Appreciate you, buddy. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Have a great day.
You too. When we come back, much more for you. Do you want to remind and here, including this great interview with my friend Tony, can be found over there at usdatareview.com. Stay tuned for more right after this.